Hey, welcome back to Crimes and Closets. This is Christy in my closet in St. Louis.
And this is Beth in my closet in North Carolina.
Happy Monday, Beth.
Happy Monday. Happy Memorial Day.
Oh, right.
It is a holiday.
Ooh, happy long weekend, everyone.
I know. What are you doing?
We don't have a whole lot happening this weekend. We have no sports. So it's just a chill weekend. We'll probably go to a friend's house for a grill out.
New term. I like it.
And actually we have friends in the neighborhood who every year do, I don't know if it's Memorial Day every year, but it's every year around this time, a fundraiser where their daughters do a M&M cafe, it's called.
And I remember this.
So you can get bottomless mimosas and bottomless Bloody Marys, and you can buy breakfast, and all of theirs goes to the Humane Society and I think Children's Hospital this year. So we
baby philanthropists.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
And they're both, I think one's going into high school next year. The other one's a sophomore. But it used to be where they'd have a menu and how much it was and whatever. And that was like fun for them to have to like total up for everyone. But now they're just like, just a donation. Just give us a donation.
I love that.
So
bottomless mimosas. That's a hefty donation, in my opinion. Well, yeah. If I know you.
Oh, yeah. I'll be there. Like the mom was like, oh, you guys can come and get it to go if you want. But, we love to have you sit by the pool for bottomless mimosas. I'm like, I'll be there all day.
Yeah. They're going to have to kick you out.
Exactly. Closing that bitch down.
Yeah. Just bring your checkbook. Nice. Good. Well, that sounds like a lovely weekend.
Yes. How about you?
Yeah, very chill here too. We're also doing a grill out, a cookout at our farm with my father-in-law, and then my friend is also having a cookout. She has family in town, so I'm going to try to do double duty and like go to her house and hang for a little bit, and then go do family stuff. So
yeah, sounds fun.
But we're going to go to the pool.
Yeah. That's what I want to do. I just want to sit by my pool all weekend long. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And not have to think about anything because I don't have anywhere to break. I do have haircut appointments, but that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My gosh, I need to make haircut appointments. I'm going to write that down right now. Yeah. Anyway, 2 new Patreons we have in our closet. We have Happy Catastrophe.
Oh, love that name.
I know. Mm-hmm. Miss or Mrs. That's what I want to know. And Dee Dee. Welcome in.
Oh, welcome, Dee Dee, and Happy Catastrophe. Thanks for supporting us.
Thank you so much. We have so much fun over there. So,
yes, we're about to have some more fun in the next couple of weeks, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. We have, yes. It's always fun.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying there's going to be 2 more episodes next month. So I've got lots of stuff to binge over the summer.
We do. Our summer is amazing.
Mm-hmm. And we have Serial Killer September and Survivor September coming up here.
That's right.
On the pod.
Yeah. So if you don't know, we do serial killers all month long during the month of September here on this feed. And then over on the Patreon, we do survivors because palate cleansers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So come join us for that. It's a lot of fun.
Well, do you have anything else?
I don't. I love you. I'm happy to see you.
I love you too.
Love all you guys.
Yes, we do love you. Okay, well, we can get into some crime, but I will say this is not going to be a spoiler, but I have to mention this because the case you're about to hear is horrific. I think I say that probably during our case too, but there's also a documentary that I mentioned, I think at the very end of it, that I said I would keep you guys posted when it was coming out, and it did. It already came out May 23rd. It came out on Paramount Plus. MTV did a documentary. It's called The Fire That Took Her.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are so inclined to watch that, if you have Paramount Plus, I recommend it. It is a tearjerker, but if you want to see how actual badass she was, you should go check it out.
I watched it also, and it is. It's one you should watch, I think, in my opinion. Yes. But you got to be in the right headspace.
Yes, it will be very hard to watch because you will see scenes, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but video of some pretty horrific stuff. And you'll understand once you listen to the rest of this episode. So,
and we hope you love it.
Yes. With all that being said, I guess we should get into it.
Let's do it.
This case was sent to us by our closet sister, Brittany, over on Instagram.
Hello, Brittany. Thank you. How are you?
Yes. Hope you're doing well, Brittany. It was an interesting case to investigate. It's pretty horrific, but interesting.
Uh-oh.
It's a domestic violence case.
Oh, no.
And I feel like the hope would be that maybe we help one person that needs to find the courage to get out and get help. And if we do, then it will make it all worth it of listening and hearing this story. But
oh my. Yes, and I agree with that sentiment.
Yes.
We really want people to not be murdered.
Right.
Or abused or victimized in any way, shape, or form. And the more you know, the more you know. You know what I'm saying?
Be 100% okay with us going out of business of this little pod because murders stopped.
Because we run out, right?
Yes. It won't happen.
What a utopia.
I know. This is Judy Malinowski's story.
Okay.
Judy was born on August 26th, which is my parents' anniversary, 1983, in suburban Ohio. She had a happy childhood and loved all people unconditionally. Her family said that she put others' needs before her own. She had one sister, Danielle, and one brother, Patrick. She graduated from New Albany High School in New Albany, Ohio. And New Albany is like, I don't know how many miles, but it's northeast of Columbus. So if you look at it. Judy graduated in 2001 when she was also crowned homecoming queen and Miss New Albany. So she had won a beauty pageant.
Well, so Judy's got it going on.
Yes, very pretty girl. Very pretty girl. Then she went on to go to the Ohio State University. I love how it has to be the Ohio State.
Well, yes. I get it.
Judy got married to Ron
You did so good the first time, too.
Malinowski.
Okay.
And they had two beautiful daughters, Kaylin and Madison, by 2004. In 2004, she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, which is very interesting.
Wow, she was young.
I was just about to say, she's young. She's in her 20s, and the same year I was diagnosed.
Oh, wow.
Well, sort of, I guess. No, that was what the year my surgery was, but I guess I was diagnosed the end of 2003. So anyway, just interesting.
Same time frame for sure.
Yeah, same time frame. I didn't have ovarian cancer though, so she fought it and won, but in April of 2006, she was told that the cancer had returned, and so she then had a full hysterectomy.
Okay.
Unfortunately, during her recovery, she became addicted to her painkillers. When insurance would no longer pay for the pills, Judy turned to the streets and started using heroin. Judy was listed as a customer service advisor in one article, but I'm not sure like how long she was working, and once her drug addiction happened, what happened. But there wasn't a whole lot about her career in this.
Okay.
She would sometimes panhandle to get money for drugs. I think may have taken money from her mom at times. You know, people who are addicted tend to do things that they wouldn't have normally have done. So.
Absolutely.
She, with the help of her family, by taking care of the girls, she eventually went into rehab and beat that addiction.
Nice. She's like a real fighter.
Just wait. You haven't even heard
oh no
the badassery of this woman yet. So I'm not sure when her and her husband split up, but they did. So I don't know if it had to do with the addiction, if it was before that. I don't know, but I do know that they're not together. And I don't know how much custody he has, but I do know that he has a child with another woman named Melissa, and Judy is friends with this woman and like goes and hangs out with her, which is an interest. But I mean, I guess you do that when you've got siblings, you know, half siblings.
Oh yeah.
You try and make it work. So
yes, absolutely. And
again, I don't know in terms of when that happened. Did he have that child with Melissa before? Did it happen sometime during? Like, I don't know the history of it. But this man named Michael Slager was also living with Melissa. I don't think they were together. I think it was just a friend kind of thing, like needed a place to stay. So he was staying there. And so Judy kind of hung out in a similar crowd with this Michael person. At some point, Michael informed Judy that her husband was cheating on her. And so I'm not sure that if that's also the reason that they broke up or if they were kind of already on the outs. Again, there's just, not a whole lot of information out there on that specific part of the story. So eventually, Mike and Judy lost touch because they weren't really that great of friends. They were just like running in the same circle. But then in 2014, they reconnected. Mike had reached out to her on Facebook and they quickly became a couple.
Oh.
And like kind of inseparable too, from what I gathered on this story. I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. At the time that they reconnected, Judy was clean and had an apartment with her 2 daughters and was doing very well. She was on Social Security disability due to the cancer and a mental, I'm sure the toll that the drugs and everything took on her was, part of this reason. The money was enough to cover her rent and a little bit extra, but her mother, Bonnie, would help her out with other expenses.
Okay.
Bonnie was not aware of her relationship initially, but when Judy told her about it, she was happy Judy was happy or seemed happy, but she had a bad feeling about Mike.
Uh-oh.
And she had a reason to.
Moms know.
Yes, mom's intuition, man. We've got it. Don't know where it comes from, but it's there. He had a bit of a record with offenses like theft, stalking, child endangerment, and domestic assault.
So, that sounds very unpleasant.
Yes, pretty big, pretty lengthy record. Mike also had become somewhat controlling of Judy and would rarely leave her side. I saw it mentioned that he was tracking her with her phone, but I mean, a lot of people do that. I mean, you share locations just so you're aware, whatever. But I'm sure being how controlling he was, it was probably a little uneasy for her to have like for her to know he knew where she was at every moment.
Maybe it got obsessive.
Yes, I think it probably did. Mike then also got Judy addicted to drugs again.
Oh, no.
He knew her past and he started giving her painkillers and whatnot and would buy her a gram of heroin each day, even though he did not use drugs.
Oh, my. So
it was basically his way of making her dependent on him. And so that he could continue to control her is.
Wow. And jeopardize her life at the same time? Gross.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not an upstanding human being. It gets worse. In March of 2015, the paramedics were called to her apartment because Mike had called Bonnie, her mom, and let her know, hey, I'm knocking on the door. Judy won't answer. She won't unlock the door. She won't let him into the house. And she said to him that she was going to complete suicide. So clearly, I don't know who it was, either mom or Mike, called, paramedics to come. Nothing was wrong with Judy. Judy was like, I just didn't want to let you in the house because you have become abusive and I'm just trying to get away from you. So that's the only reason. I never said I was going to complete suicide, like whatever. So her mom at this point becomes aware that she's also started using drugs again and is encouraging her to go back into rehab and told her, like, if you don't, I'm going to cut you off because I'm helping you financially. I'm going to cut you off, which is the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. Judy tried to get into a program, but really didn't want to go to the one that she did get into. Apparently, the particular program that she got into didn't allow you to smoke. And she wanted to be able to smoke. Like, if you're going to kick this, like, let me at least smoke cigarettes during the day.
Where are her children at this time?
Well, so that's not entirely clear, but I think with family, if not Ron.
Okay.
I don't know how involved Ron is. It's not entirely clear, but it did state that the family helped her when she was in rehab. So I'm assuming that her mom must have stepped in and been like, okay.
I hope so. I just hope that they weren't there when she was like on drugs and in this abusive house. Right. And that's sucks. Yeah, I would hope.
Yeah, I'm not, it's not clear if that was the case. And I don't know if they were just trying to like kind of keep that under wraps so that it didn't sound worse than it was. But I don't know. But I'm just assuming that her mom stepped in and was like, yep, let's go. Let's give me the girls.
Okay.
So, and the program that she had gone to before, which was called a place called Parkside, she had success in. And so she was like, I really want to go back to that one. So I don't want, and they were allowed her to smoke. And she wanted to specifically go to this one, but they didn't have a bed for her at the time. So she gets into this other program, but doesn't really want to go. Okay. May of 2015, Judy has to call the police because she was afraid that Mike was going to kill her at the time. And the police show up, but didn't do anything because they said that they didn't have any proof of her suspicions. So I don't know if there was like no bruising, no like outward signs that besides her saying.
Because you have to actually be injured before they do anything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Ugh.
Exactly.
So annoying.
I know, it is. So not long after this, she runs away from him and stays in a hotel for 5 to 6 days because she said he had beaten her. But eventually he speaks to family members and somebody in the family informed him of where she was. And so she ends up back with him. Bonnie informed her until she got treatment again that she was not going to renew her lease. So then she had to move out of the apartment. So I'm assuming for sure at this point she's got the girls because she's like, I'm not giving you money for the now they don't have anywhere to live. They're coming with me or they're with dad. I don't know. So Mike moves all of her belongings into a storage unit for her. On August 1st, 2015, Judy and Mike have an argument about her drug use. He was mad about all the money he was spending on her drugs and wanted to stop. Well, dude, you know what? You started it.
Fault.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're a real gem. Get her hooked on drugs again and now turn it around and get mad about it. Like, ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So the next day, Judy found out that Parkside Rehab, the one that she wanted to go to, had a room available or a bed available for her. So she called Mike and said, hey, they've got a room. Can you come bring me? I don't know why. I mean, I guess this is like the battered kind of spouse syndrome where you still go back to that person for help because I don't know why she called him, but she does. And on the way there, they stop at the thrift shop for unknown reason and also to her drug dealer's house to get heroin. I guess that last like fix before you go into rehab, I'm assuming. So when they arrive at Parkside, Judy exits the car, walks to the entrance, but doesn't go in. And there's someone standing in front of the building and they're smoking a cigarette. And so she bums one from this person. And Mike pulls out of the parking lot and kind of circled around the block. I don't know why he does this, and drives back past and sees that Judy is actually leaving the premises.
Oh, no.
And yeah. So he's like, okay, pulls back in, like, get in the car. What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Judy informs him that she didn't want to enter the program until she got to speak to her daughters and her mom first. Like, she wanted to go and kind of like give him hugs. Her mom was packing her a bag. I don't know why this wasn't known beforehand. I don't know. But so she said, and also she didn't have cigarettes. So she wanted to go get the cigarettes before she went in. Because apparently you have to go in with like a sealed pack.
Right.
Because they don't want to make sure you're not like hiding other paraphernalia in the pack of cigarettes.
Makes sense.
So, okay. So Mike's like, fine, let's go. We'll go do all of these things and then I'll bring you back. So they drive to a Speedway gas station. And I believe they had been arguing a little bit like on the way about her not going into the rehab facilities, blah, blah, blah. So he parks the car, goes into the Speedway to buy cigarettes for him and her. And she's like, and she's also done the heroin. So she's probably not really in her right mind, but she's annoyed. And she's like, I'm getting out of the car and I'm going to leave. So she gets out of the car and starts to walk to the back of the Speedway. Mike comes out, gets in the truck and drives around the Speedway towards her and gets out of the car, and they continue to argue. And they argue to the point where Judy throws her like soda at him. Kind of like this big Polar Pop that I always have. I'm pretty sure something similar to that.
Oh my gosh. You know, this is a sidebar, but you got to talk about that Polar Pop more on this podcast because it is such a fixture of every single episode that no one knows about but me. Anyway, carry on.
Okay, maybe it'll be
another time.
An intro.
Yeah.
Maybe an intro to this episode.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, anyway, so Mike gets mad at her. Clearly she threw a soda at him. So he goes to the back of a truck, grabs a gasoline can that he has in the back of his truck, walks over to Judy, who at this point has tripped and fallen on the ground, and starts pouring gasoline all over her.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, starting at her head, gets in her mouth.
Oh my God.
In her throat. She said it burned like hell. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine because just the fumes burned my like nose.
Wow. That's an awful, awful thing to do. And so random.
Right. And scary because why are you dumping gasoline? Like what is your intention? Clearly. Yeah, that's what I would be thinking. Mm-hmm. So he then walks over. He started from her head, goes all the way down to her feet. When he, the whole time she's crying and like yelling at him and stop. Why are you doing this? Please help me. I'll get in the car with you. Like, I'll just go. Come on. Don't stop doing this. Blah, blah, blah. He won't stop, and he ends up walking away from her for about 30 seconds and comes back with a lighter and proceeds to light her on fire.
No!
Yes. Yes. And there's witnesses to this. Like,
and they're doing what?
Well, they're calling 911. Like, there's one 911 call. This woman is frantic. This guy just lit this person on fire. Like, she didn't know who was the dynamic of the situation. It's like this. It's a frantic call. Like
you can listen to it.
Well, I heard parts of it because there is a documentary that was made that I was going to talk about later. I did not get to watch the documentary. I think I told you, like, I found it and then I couldn't find where to watch it. Well, it's because it was on limited release and they haven't released it to streaming yet. So I'm like waiting for the date to come out. And so it's like in the preview of that documentary.
This is an escalation of epic proportions. I don't even know what to say about doing that to someone. I am not okay.
No. Yeah. And he's lit her on fire when she's alive. Like
in the parking lot of a gas station.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
My God.
Yeah. Awful. Bonnie gets a call telling her Judy's in the hospital. She's been in an accident. She's in critical shape. And they also tell her like to prepare to not recognize her because it's bad. So when she gets to the hospital, you could tell that to somebody, but you're not probably really expecting what you're about to see. She was unrecognizable. She had 3rd and 4th degree burns over 90%.
Oh my gosh.
They told her that she would likely die within hours because apparently, I didn't know this, but there's a formula when burn victims come in and they take the age of the victim and the percentage of the body that they're burned, and then they have this percentage of mortality, and hers was 110% mortality rate.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, 90% of your body is your whole daggone body.
Yes. Yeah. She lost, like, she doesn't have that, like the ears. Her ears anymore. She lost hair, fingers, I think 2 fingers on one of her hands, most of her eyesight. I think maybe like one eye, I don't know, but it's just
oh my God. This is horrific.
I have seen some really graphic pictures. They're out there. And I think it's because they wanted her story known, but there's really graphic pictures of her. And I'm actually afraid to post them because they're probably going to be one of those ones that, get censored, like
the content warning or whatever.
Yeah. So, and I don't know that I want to post them anyways. I mean, you'll be able to find them if you want to. I'll have links because some of the articles, they're in the articles that I was reading about this case. So when police arrive at the scene, Mike told them that he accidentally set her on fire when he was lighting a cigarette for her, which was bull.
Absolutely. People saw him.
Yes. 1, there's a witness. 2, there's surveillance footage from the ATM right across the street that catches the whole thing on camera.
Oh my God. Well, good. And she has gasoline all over her. How are you going to explain that?
Well, yeah. And apparently the ATM footage is in that documentary.
Oh gosh, I don't think I'd want to watch that. A little bit.
Oh. And also number 3, Judy's still alive. So
yeah, she can tell what happened.
I'm going to tell you, freaking Mike did this to me and he did it on purpose.
She's still alive.
But expected to die within hours, if not days. Okay. So the prosecutors in this case, as horrible as this sounds, they're basically making their case against Mike, but they're waiting for Judy to die so they can up the charges to murder.
Wow.
And they are told that she's going to die.
And I'm assuming she's being kept in a coma due to like pain and I can't even imagine.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she's in a coma. I want to say I heard at one point that they woke her up long enough to for her to say who did it to her. Which they tend to do, I think. They need to know straight from her mouth who did it. So but they're like I said, they're waiting for her to die. And it's also the prosecutor in this case said it was the first case that he had ever met the victim in the case because
they're always
clearly,
dead.
typically they die, and that's why you're charging them with murder. But right now they're not charging it with murder, so they're just waiting so they can up those charges. But then all of a sudden they get a phone call that Judy has woken up. In December of 2016, Michael Slager was charged initially. So this is initially with arson and felonious, I'm assuming that's how you say that word, assault. To which he pled no contest because he knew Judy was alive and could testify via conference call.
Not attempted murder.
No, which I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe because he had been saying it was an accident. I don't know, but it wasn't. It was clearly not. They had freaking video footage of it. And in that video footage,
poured the gasoline on her and then lit her on fire.
Right.
He knew he was going to kill her.
Right. Yes. I know. The judge in that case sentences him to the maximum allowed, which is 11 years in prison.
Oh my. And they're just going to let him out.
Yeah. No one, including the judge, is satisfied with this. And in the court, after reading the sentence, he stated, the judge, you really do seem like one of those people that has no soul and you need to be incarcerated. But there was like nothing more that they could do about the length of time.
So, wow. I mean, my gosh.
Yeah. So, like I said, so many people dissatisfied, Judy being one of them. So Judy initially, who was not expected to live, like I said, more than a few hours, if not days, here's the badass fighter she is. She lives for 23 months, almost 2 years.
Oh, that's a long time. And I bet,
23 horrifically painful
I was just going to say,
months.
tell me about those.
She had been through, like, I think 59 surgeries, they said, was in a coma for a total of 7 months of those, and coded and had to be brought back to life 7 times.
Oh my God.
During this time,
it's just sick. It's so horrific. I don't like this at all. I was not prepared today.
I know. Nobody's prepared ever for something like this, except her story has to be told because she is a badass.
Yeah.
So during this time, and this is why she fought to stay alive for so long, she was fighting for legislation to be changed because she wanted to make sure that people who are charged with felonious assault and have caused the victim to suffer permanent or serious disfigurement or incapacity got more time on their sentence.
Okay.
So she fights to stay alive. Also, the other thing that she did was on January 26, 2017, she wanted to testify against Mike for her murder. So they did a video conference and recorded a deposition while she was in her hospital bed. It is over an hour long, and I watched the entire thing.
Okay.
She answered questions from her attorney and also the defense attorney. And I was so impressed with her determination because some of the things that she said, it was hard to listen to. Like the account of that, like she remembers what happened, how it felt.
Oh my God.
She's like, I don't think words can describe what it feels like to have your whole body set on fire. It felt like 1,000 hot needles in my body. She stuck to her guns, even when you could tell the defense attorney was trying to discredit her because she had taken drugs that day and possibly had a cigarette. And he was like, he was saying, like, you had a cigarette, he was trying to light it, and the whole time I'm disgusted. I know he's just doing his job, but I'm disgusted.
He probably was too, don't you think? That's not going to be one he's proud of, I would imagine.
Right. I can't imagine. But she was like, no, sir, like, no, this is what happened. We went to the Speedway because I didn't have a cigarette on me. He looked evil. Like, she was like, his eyes went black when he was doing all this. Like, he just went into this evil place. She would even at times talk over him to get her point across that no one deserves to have this happen. Like, yes, you're asking those questions, but it doesn't matter what happened prior to this. No one should ever be lit on fire.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Anyways. So he was even calling out some of the inconsistencies in what she was saying happened surrounding their relationship and that day. And her response to him was, "You have to understand, on August 2nd, 2015, I was set on fire, thrown on the ground, and burnt over 90% of my body. It's really hard for me to keep track of everything that happened in this horrible relationship with all of that.
Right.
Sorry."
Not to mention, she's being fed drugs. She's going to rehab, so she's clearly not her, best self at that time. Like, how about we give her a break?
Yeah, exactly. So 5 months after this deposition, on June 27th, 2017, at the age of 33, Judy succumbed to all of her injuries and passed away. 1 day later, the Ohio State Senate convened, held a moment of silence for her, and with a unanimous 33-0 vote, they passed Judy's Law, which adds a mandatory 6 years onto a sentence if an accelerant is used and if the victim suffered permanent serious disfigurement or incapacity.
6 years is still not enough.
No, 6 years in addition. So he would have gotten, I guess, 17 with his initial sentencing. Anyway.
Okay.
So in July of 2018, Michael Slager pled guilty to murder.
Okay.
Because they upped the charges, and was sentenced to life in prison because Judy's deposition was played. So she basically testified against her own murderer.
Hell yeah.
And it made history because it's never been done before. Judy, in her deposition, stated that she wanted Mike to get life in prison instead of the death penalty because that was on the table, the death penalty. Because she hoped that he would find God while in prison before he met her again on the other side.
Wow. I was going to say because she wanted him to rot.
That's exactly what I thought too. Nope.
Wow. Look at you, Judy. You are a little angel of a person. Holy wow.
The judge was not happy about it, but honored her wishes.
Good.
It's what she wanted. In October of 2022, as I mentioned, MTV made a documentary. It's called The Fire That Took Her. It's all
MTV?
MTV. Apparently the MTV
Wow.
It's like MTV documentaries. Like there's a whole side hustle that MTV is doing here. I don't know.
All right.
It has won a couple of awards, apparently. It was released for a short time in theaters, won awards. It's going to be out for streaming sometime this year. I'll have to keep you posted on that in case somebody actually wants to watch it. I am interested in watching it. I know it'll probably be hard to, but it was hard to watch her in that hospital bed in the shape she was in.
Yeah, because you knew she was suffering and
yeah.
So when you say that she was testifying, she wanted to testify in her murder. She was anticipating that she was going to die and that he was going to get charged with murder. Okay.
She knew he was going to die. When they said hours and days and then she lasted that long, she defied all odds. And there was nothing that they can do for her anymore. I mean, all of her, most of her skin grafts all failed when they did them. And so she knew she was going to die and that eventually he would get that, murder charge. So, and honestly, there wasn't really a trial because he pled guilty, but they still played her deposition.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So,
and all of that time that she was alive, she was in the hospital. She never left.
Nope, she never left. And I don't remember at what point, but at a certain point right before the end, she was in palliative care. They just stopped helping her. And so Judy's family have started a foundation called Judy's Foundation. They would love for Judy's Law to be passed in other states and eventually, hopefully, federal law. So they're fighting for that. They work closely with first responders and the courts to develop technology that will help assist with repeat abusers. I'm not really sure what that technology is, but it's just something that was written on their website. They also have a place called Judy's House, which is a safe place for single mothers and their children to get help to address the trauma and disruption of domestic violence.
Wow.
They raise money to help get resources for all of these things and people. I'll have a link in the show notes for people to check it out. And if you are so inclined and you want to donate to this cause, I'm sure they would appreciate that. They do have dates and times for this. They have screenings happening right now in May, but I think by the time this drops, they will have all been done, I think, for that documentary that they're showing it in churches or whatever, they're screening it themselves. But I think by the time this drops, they're all going to be done, unfortunately.
End of May. Okay.
Yeah. I'm so glad Brittany brought this case to us because
Yeah.
Even though she did not ultimately survive, I'm glad to tell the story of such a
Mm-hmm.
strong and determined woman who did survive long enough to make her voice heard.
Yeah.
And that we can continue to make it heard. People
Well,
hopefully continue to listen to it.
that's true. And, whenever she decided that she was going to go to rehab that day, she knew that she was going on to something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure she obviously had no idea how far reaching I feel like her legacy would go. And I am happy that her family is fighting the good fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cry.
I know.
Oh my
I reached
gosh.
out to the foundation actually and asked them if they wanted us to like mention anything. And the one thing was the show or the screenings. But then I was like, well, they'll be done by the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't gotten back to me about anything else. But it's some pretty awesome stuff that's happening because of this story.
Yeah.
It was a
Her
terrible
life.
story.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That, I feel as though whenever there are cases like that, you prepare me.
Yeah, I know.
And today you dropped that ball.
Sorry.
Whew. I am in absolute shock. Although you did tell me, because last week's case was also involved in arson, and you did say we're going to have 2 arsons back to back. And you said arson of a person.
I know.
And I was like, I don't think it's called that.
Although that's what he was charged with, was arson.
Right. Well, yeah, because he set an illegal fire. Okay, I wanted to circle back to, I think the reason why they didn't charge him with attempted murder is because they anticipated that they would be charging him with murder.
Probably.
And so I think that's what happened there. So they picked another charge to keep him in jail while they were waiting to charge him with murder, which is what ultimately ended up happening.
Right, because it is possible that if they did attempted murder, that he might have some sort of defense that, no, I wasn't. It was an accident. Trying to say it was an accident, even though there's for surveillance. He wouldn't have been able to get out of that either.
No.
But yeah, they were anticipating the murder charge later.
Right. And so I think that's why they didn't charge him with it. That's just, I thought of it later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, bye, dude.
Yes.
I'm thankful that he is never going to be out on the streets to hurt anybody else, because I think that he absolutely would have.
Oh, 100%. I mean, clearly he had charges beforehand of domestic assault and whatnot. And so, yeah, it's not like he was just going to stop doing that stuff.
I bet her daughters are great, huh?
I don't know. I don't know any updates on that. I mean, they're older now. This is,
right.
However many years ago. But yeah, I don't really know how they're doing. But I'm assuming they're part of the foundation and working hard on that. So,
yeah. I bet they're awesome.
Yeah.
Judy was awesome. Judy's mom sounds awesome too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Bonnie.
Bonnie.
Gosh, the pictures you'll see them, but like there was these like before pictures, her and her mom, and then her mom taking selfies of her and Judy in the hospital. Oh my gosh, it's just so sad. So sad.
I think being burned is my one thing. Like my worst nightmare of a way to go, I think, is burning. Because that is just, I mean, it would all suck.
Yeah.
But being burned specifically is just, man.
Burned alive. Like,
no, I don't. It's awful. I won't think about it too hard. But thank you very much for telling Judy's story. You did an amazing job. And I love the legacy. And yes, if you are in a situation of intimate partner violence or any kind of violence in your home, please know that you are not alone, number one, and that you are worth fighting for. And if you can't fight yourself, find somebody to fight for you, because I know somebody loves you enough. So 100%. Get help, get out, reach out to someone. Happy Monday. I'm assuming you'll put some resources in our...
Yes. Yep. I'm going to link the foundation for sure, and then other resources. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to Brittany as well for sending this story in and trusting us and allowing us to tell Judy's story. It is awful to say, but it is what we do here.
Mm-hmm.
And the more we talk about it, the more we give resources, the more we show people that these things are real. They really do happen. No one is immune. And we have to always love each other and look out for each other. And we are looking out for you and we love you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to cry. If you can't, if you want more of us, come find us on Patreon. We have an Instagram in which I'm sure we'll be seeing some very beautiful pictures of Judy and maybe her family or whatever Christy posts. Come interact with us over there. We certainly love to hear what you have to say, and we love loving on you. So please join us on those social media platforms, and we appreciate you. And always remember, the world is scary. People suck. Hide in your closet.